On this episode, we have a guest with us that is talking about her business, how she started her journey, and the challenges that she faced. So make sure you guys stay tuned to this episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Good Luck Sis. I'm your host Ellie.
And I'm your host Tati J.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. And again, we have a great episode for you. We have another guest. You guys are going to be getting a lot of guests.
A lot of guests.
And I love that because that's us connecting with the people here in Dallas as we are recording. And hopefully one day we'll be in Boston where we'll have some Boston guests. But this time around, we're down south. We're trying to do the virtual recording. So we have virtual guests here. And today on this episode, we have Gogo.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So Gogo and I actually have known each other since middle school.
Yep.
We're not going to say the school.
Right. No free promo.
No promo here. So you moved to Texas and
Yes, I moved to Texas in 2021.
Yes.
So I've been here for 3 years. So that might be 2021. And I've been loving it ever since.
Oh, okay. Texas gets a promo.
Yes, Texas does. It does, because I met my fiance here.
Oh.
And it's been a great journey so far. So I can't see myself leaving Texas.
Oh, I love that for you. So I'm happy that you brought up your fiance. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
okay,
you.
let's see the ring. Let's see the ring.
Period.
Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. The funniest thing, so I think you came to do my hair in February, right before going to my bachelorette, and you were telling me about your fiance, your boyfriend at that time. You were telling me how you guys met, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And you were telling me how you have a feeling that he's going to propose. And I was like, yeah, it's going to happen pretty soon. It's going to happen pretty soon.
Look
and here we are. 2024, he proposed. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yes. So I met my fiance. Oh my gosh, I swear I have this story down pat. I was trying to remember the month. We met in November of 2023, and we were intentionally dating. So like I knew that he was the one. He knew I was the one. And like we just had conversations around marriage. And then like I knew that he was going to propose like in 2024 because like we both said we had like a timeline of like 1 to like 2 years.
I love that.
And like he told my mom about it. Like the first time he met my mom, he was like, I'm gonna marry your daughter. My mom's like,
I know that's right. Don't waste my daughter's time.
My mom was like, okay, but like, you know, she was side eyeing, like, why is this guy so confident? He just met me and he wants to marry my daughter. But he held his promise, and we went to Costa Rica in October because our anniversary is in November. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's definitely going to be in November. It's going to be on our anniversary day because like we always, one thing that we love doing is going out to eat. Like we go out to eat like all the time. Just because it's just our favorite activity, to share a meal, talk over a meal, and just enjoy the ambiance. And so I was so set that it was going to happen in November. And we went to Costa Rica just like for us to get away because like work was really stressful for both of us. And then lo and behold, you know, we had lunch on the beach and he popped the question.
Oh,
so I'm a fiance.
When I saw the pictures, and I knew it. And I was like, look at God. Like when you are intentionally dating, and I always am shocked when people are like, yeah, we just never talked about engagement. We don't talk about marriage. And remember when you were doing my hair, I was like, 2 months before my husband proposed, I told you that we went to see venues. You're like, girl, that's crazy. I'm like, people go shopping for rings. It was a date for me. Like we set it up. We're like, hey babe, I saw this venue. I really love it. Can we just take a date to this venue? And we literally went to Notting Hill, the venue I got married, and we walked through, and we literally picked a date as for fun. Like we pretended we were a couple getting married. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get married in May of 2024, which was like a month later than I got married. Yeah. And you know, they already sent us the brochure. So I already had everything and no ring yet. But it was, I knew it was going to happen that year. But that you start moving like that when you are intentionally dating. When you know someone's really serious about you. And he always talked about, I'm going to marry you. I'm going to marry you. Like it shouldn't be a surprise. I shouldn't wonder if I'm going to be your wife.
Right.
Like move accordingly. Let's talk about it. Like I shouldn't be too surprised. I just don't know when it's gonna happen.
Exactly. And that's similar to my experience. Like with my fiance, he kept saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna marry you. I'm gonna marry you." Like he was just so intentional. I'm like, you better not be playing with me because like don't waste my time. But like we've just had like serious conversations, and we both went into dating like before like he even met me and before I met him. Like we both said like, hey, the next relationship or like just in the near future, like whatever relationship, like it's going to be serious. And so when we met each other, it was bliss after that.
Meant to be. I know this episode was not about relationships, but we've been talking about it. But I do have one more question. I know that you went in intentionally dating. It took me a while to get there. It took me therapy to be like, with my therapist, okay, I clearly have been dating the wrong guys. I need to start intentionally dating. Stop entertaining these guys I know are not supposed to be my husband. Like I literally had to have that conversation with myself. Like why do I keep entertaining those guys I know, I absolutely know that are not going to be my husband? When did you know that you wanted to start intentionally dating?
I've always been a relationship person in the sense like I haven't always been in a relationship, but I love the idea of having a partner. And so I felt like similar to like what you said, like I knew I wanted a relationship, but I was wanting that from the wrong people. So like I just had to take a step back and like look at like my track record, like, okay, like does this line up to like what I actually want? And so I did go to therapy, and I also just spent some time alone. Like it kind of took things to like fall apart for me to get to where I'm at now. Like I lost my job, like I was like losing friendships. So I had to be like in a period of solitude where I just figured out what I wanted, like who I wanted to be. And that's just when it came, when I was like, okay, like I know I want a relationship, but I'm not going to place that on like the next man that I see. Like I'm going to actually check out if he is a decent person and if I actually have feelings for him and not just falling for somebody because they like me. And so, it was definitely like trial and error before that period of solitude, but that period of solitude definitely helped me get to where I'm at now. And so luckily, like when I did meet my fiance, because he was the first guy that after I was in that period of solitude, I like gave a chance, everything just worked out.
Oh, I love that for you. Sometimes you just have to be in a place of solitude. I love that. When everything is falling apart, but at the end of the day, you know, you're showing up for yourself. And then that also helps you align what you want and what's coming to you, right? Like it's like, okay, is this what I want? Oh, no. You got to stay true to yourself. Sometimes it takes that things to go wrong.
It does.
And I do want to say one thing, just to like, you know, just show like just gratefulness to God, because I feel like he's the only reason why I'm here and got to this point of even having a fiance. So funny enough, and like I can't make this up, so I listened to like the Daily Show, Steve Harvey. And so like 2 days before I met my fiance, the podcast was talking about like write a list of like what you think that you can do and then what you want God to do in your life. And so I literally have it on my phone. But on November 1st of 2023, I wrote down a list of like what I think I can do, and like what I wanted God to do was like to find like that husband, which I was still in that like period of solitude. And so I wrote that down and like I just let it go. Like I was like, okay, like there's nothing I can do because it's in God's hands. And then 2 days after I met my fiance. And then, yeah.
Wow.
You just gotta write it down.
You gotta write it down.
You gotta write it down.
And you gotta write it down, be intentional, and you just gotta leave it to God. Same way. Just prayed about it, and then months later, here we are. Like, so it's just certain things. I was telling our previous guest that my mother always said that you can't just find a husband like that. Like, you have to find a husband like on your knees praying. Like, you gotta pray about it. You gotta talk to God about it. Like, if you're not talking, this was the first, my cousins always said, like, Ellie, you always pray for whatever you want. Why haven't you prayed to God about a husband? I was like, that's funny. Why would I go to God? God, can you send me a man? Like, it sounded funny to me, but I'm like, that was the devil doing that. You know, that was the devil, because it should, something so important should be
prayed for.
Yeah, should be prayed for, and shouldn't sound funny not to not to pray for. So I remember when I finally kneeled down to pray, it was like that awkward moment, like in my room, like if there was like, hey guys,
it's me.
I'm praying for a man.
Don't know if you forgot about me in this aspect.
But it started off as that. But then we got into like the fights of like, when I pray, like I pour out my heart. So it's like, hey God, it's me. I'm praying for a man. And then it was like, I'm upset. Like, this is what I've been going through. I don't want to go through this anymore. I want to intentionally go like date and find the right man. Like, lead me to where I need to go and bring him to me, you know? Yeah. So it really just takes you and God, to find that. But I'm so happy that you found the one. Yes. And I wish you the best in wedding planning. Thank you. Enjoy every moment of it. Thank you. You make the best out of it for sure. So yeah. Thank you. I know that was our little off course of our episode. Yeah. So let's take it back. I know that you've been in the hair industry for a long time. Yeah. So why don't you take us through your journey of how you started in the hair industry, and like what made you so passionate to start your own business and to continue your journey in the hair industry? Yeah. So around when I was like 20, 21, I started doing like my own hair, because I just like doing things like myself as far as like beauty. And so that meant like I was like sewing and making my own wigs, because I was a college student. I didn't have money to go and get my hair done. Yeah. I was trying to make it, make it work. So and then people around me, they were like, oh, can you do that for me? And then, by the time I look up, I'm doing hair out my dorm. I'm doing hair out of my mom's basement at the time. And I created my business from there. And the reason I'm passionate about it is because like when you get your hair done, for me, it's not just, okay, like a common service, like, or a transaction. It's like, you get confident. Like, just imagine, like, when you go sit to do your hair, or you go to the salon, like, when you leave that salon chair, like, anything is possible. Like, if you want to fly, you can fly, because you have that confidence. And so, like, I like being able to help people, like, get that confidence back. So that's why I've just always been so passionate. And I feel like it's an art too, because I do like creativity as well. I'm also do interior design. So I feel like it speaks through hair as well.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. So I know, like, in terms of when you have a passion for something, you love it, but then sometimes when you add the business aspect, you take that jump. Some people say, like, I couldn't, like, that's the worst decision I made, because it's like, when it's passion, it's free flowing, you do it when you want to, but when it becomes like a have to do it, sometimes their heart changes in terms of, do they still have that passion for it? Do you feel like you experience that? Or like, what are some of the obstacles you experience from having it be a passion / hobby to like, oh no, I'm making money off this is my business now?
Yeah, so I actually went to school for business. Okay. So my degree is like management information systems. And so even though it's IT, it's still like the business side of IT. So I do have like that business acumen. And the thing with business is that you have to look at like what works for you. Like, for example, like with hair, so many people do hair now. Like, so many people like are entrepreneurs, and it's so easy to get lost in, okay, I have to do this because this other person who's in my industry is doing it this way. But for me, what I found is that you kind of have to focus on what you want and create your own lane and stick with it, because my day-to-day isn't hair. You know, I do cybersecurity, so it's a completely different lane. But what I found that works for me is to just have like a target audience, which is being able to travel to clients, and I'm able to focus on those clients who want that, who are more on the luxury side, that can afford clients to come to their house. And that helped me to not focus on like everybody. I'm just focusing on one percentage, and that helps me really like still maintain like that passion for it, rather than looking at it like, oh my gosh, like mixing the business with it was like completely wrong. So you just have to figure out like what works for you.
That makes sense. Oh, look at you traveling.
Yeah,
y'all need somebody. You know who to hit up.
She traveled here when she came to do my hair. It was it's convenient for sure.
It's convenient.
Yeah. What would you say are any challenges or fear that you faced when you started your hair business?
Yeah, so some of the challenges was second guessing myself, because I'm not from Dallas, and I felt like I had to measure up to the other stylists. And coming from Boston, like I knew that at that time where I was in Boston around like 2019, 2020, Boston's a small city, so there weren't too many hairstylists. It wasn't like overly saturated, at least what I was exposed to. But now I feel like in Dallas, like everybody does hair. Yeah. So everybody does hair. So I was definitely doubting myself, but knowing what I bring to the table, knowing that it's not just a service, like this is a campaign. Like I'm going to continuously like always make sure that it's not just a service, like you're getting like a whole experience from doing their hair. And like once I started to like pour more into myself and like kind of like boost myself up, like, okay, yeah, you can do it. Like that's where I started to learn that, hey, I just need to make like my own lane for myself and like focus on like traveling, hairstyling, and like focus on those clients that like can't afford those services.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned like coming into a new space, but it's already kind of like oversaturated, because I feel like when we first started the podcast, it like podcasting just somewhat started like for people, but then within the first like I want to say year, everybody had a podcast, and even now everyone has a podcast. So definitely with us, like the podcasts that are a little bit more popular, like the viral moments and like the more sexually liberated podcasts. And we're not that. We're going to talk, you know, here and there, but like, we're not that. So we can definitely relate to the, like, here I am, like, what makes me different? Why you guys should, you know, stick with me. So we definitely relate with that. Yeah. And I know you said you had to kind of set yourself apart from coming here from the other stylists, and like you do the more travel experience for those who can't afford it. Is there anything else you feel like that sets you apart from just hairstylists in general, not necessarily Dot's hairstyles? I feel like Ellie and I were talking, like sometimes the customer service be like, you know? And I feel like even if you're just a person who's genuinely like nice, that sets you apart from a good majority of hairstylists, unfortunately. But is there anything else you think that makes you unique compared to those around you?
Yeah, I would say my eye for detail, because like I mentioned, I do interior design as well. So that means that like I pay attention to like detail and like things looking like a certain way. So like everything needs to be like crisp. And so like I make sure that like, for example, like when you decorate a house, like when you walk into like a room, like you feel a certain type of way, like that's the same feeling that I want my customers to feel. Like when you get your hair done, it's not just like, okay, I went to go get my hair done. It's like an experience. And so that means like even before your appointment, like I reach out, like making sure like, do you have any questions? And even after, getting your feedback, because I want to know like, did you have a good experience? Like what's missing? And because it's all about like longevity. Like I want my customers to feel like, okay, like I can come back to her. I'm not looking for just quick money. I want to actually build a relationship so that my customers can understand that, hey, like you always have a like hairstylist that you can trust.
I love that because I don't. My hairstylists don't reach out to me. I mean, love them, love y'all, but they don't reach out to me after like, hey, like, how's it going? How do you like it? That definitely sets you apart for sure. Yeah. Wow, you all hear that?
100%. I can agree. You're definitely much different. I vent to Tati all the time about my experience here in Texas, and it's just not the best with the hairstylist that I've dealt with, but I've worked with you and your service is amazing. And I remember right before the wedding also I reached out to you to help me out with to do my sister-in-law's hair, and you responded so quickly and you were able to travel. So having that in someone who's responsive, nice, is just,
it makes a difference.
It makes a difference. Where, girl, I'm telling you, the basic like courtesy of being nice is just not provided.
Yeah, because I always say like, if you can do my hair and it's a 10 out of 10, but if you're rude and I don't feel comfortable, I'm not coming back. I'll take an 8 out of 10. Yeah. But the niceness and like just the human respect and the decency will make me come back every single time.
Yeah. I was telling Tati, we don't have to talk throughout the whole service at all. We don't have to talk. We don't have to haha hee hee. Which in my past experience, most of me and my stylist, we be laughing. We talk about everything, right? Like by the time we know about our kids, we know about our family. Like I still talk to my hairstylist now, right? Trying to convince her to move to Dallas, but I still talk to her, and I'm just like, I try to build that relationship. And even though I go to the appointment, I don't expect you to talk to me. But just, hi, how are you? How's your day? And we leave it as that.
The simplest thing.
Yeah. Or sometimes if you're having a bad day, just like, hey, girl, it's just been a rough day. Like how you were like, I'm not feeling well. Yeah. Like, I'm not feeling well today. And then I know I'm not going to bother you. We can cut the ha-ha, hee-hee. But it's just I don't even want you here. Like, why even book me? Like, girl, why you I'm putting money in your pocket. So I just had a recent bad experience. So it's just, I do hope that, there are more stylists that I could find that are more like you, nice, just nice. That's all we ask for, So
it's sad to hear that you guys have had like bad experiences. And that's honestly like one of the reasons why I've always done my own hair, because I'm just afraid to get disappointed, especially when you're paying like your hard-earned money to get a service done. And then like the person that's doing it like has no regard to even just say like, hi, how are you? They're like making it like just
uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable. Let's be honest, the prices be high now. And it's like, I'm not paying this much to feel like I'm a bother to you when you're literally just supposed to be doing your job. Like, no, thank you.
So I know that one of the hardest thing and challenging thing, and we faced it too when we started our business, is building a brand. Yeah. So I would love to hear your story on how you came up with your logo. How did you come up with your name? Were there any challenges you faced when you were trying to build up your brand for your business?
So I came up with a hair campaign just because I wanted something to like stick. I didn't just want it to be like touched by whatever. No shade to those people. No shade at all. But like, I just wanted something to be like different. And like, when I think of like campaign, for example, like, I think of just like voting, or like when somebody's like running for like a role, like whether it's mayor or like the president. I think like they go so hard to get like their message across and like what they stand for. And so that's what I wanted to do for hair. Like, I think that everybody should have good hair. Like your hair, when you walk into the room, that's like the first thing people look at. And so there's like a lot that goes into doing your hair, and I want to be like that first that first company or that first stylist that people think of, like, okay, yeah, I want to go to her because I know like she doesn't just look at this as like a job. She looks at it like a lifestyle, like, you know, especially with Black women, your hair is like your crown, and I believe you should be confident. So I'll never stop like campaigning for good hair. And so yeah, that's how we got here.
Yeah, and I love the name because I feel like it fits so well because you build that personal connection where you do travel to your clients, and I'm sure you have returning clients. So then it's just like you returning back and forth to their like humble space. So then it's just like you build that connection with them, and it's just like when you think of campaigning, you go to door.
Yeah.
So it fits so well. So I do love the name, and it definitely does stick.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you ever tried to like take the name and like what is it called when you take a name, trademark the name, I feel like you won't have a hard time because I don't think there's really a hair campaign.
The hair campaign, not at all.
Name out there. So
really smart, because coming up with the name, it's one of the hard, like
it's really hard.
We had to end up changing our name midway. So it's very, very hard. I have 2 questions for you actually. So I'm gonna leave the fun one for the last one. What advice would you give to anyone, whether it's just hairstylists or just anyone going into entrepreneurship, starting from scratch, or feeling like you felt like there's so many of me out there, how can I stand out?
I would say be strategic. Because of course, like there's so many truths out there, you just have to pick one, right? Like, and what I mean by that is like, yes, the market and whatever you want to do is saturated, but yes, you still can stand out. And so you can stand out, and you could do that by just being strategic, like actually like write down like who like is your audience and like what is like your mission. I know that sounds like very like basic, but like really just writing these things down, you start to like narrow down, okay, like how do I stand out, or like who exactly do I want to service? Because it's so easy to get caught up, like I mentioned before, in just trying to like service everybody, but you can't be everything to everybody. You just have to really like pick a focus. Like if you're doing hair and for example, like you're in college, like don't try to like go for clients that are like maybe like 30s or something, because you know, are they going to come to like college dorm or like do you actually like have the like mindset to understand like what they're looking for and like hairstyles? Because like for example, the clients that I deal with, they just want like, they don't want baby hairs, like you know what I mean?
I'm not a baby hair girl either, so
yeah, like they just don't want baby hairs. They don't want like blondes and like pink in their hair, you know what I mean? And so like if you know that you have like a really good hand in dyeing hair, and like you want to do all those like, you know, outlandish or like just the crazy colors, then like your target audience like would maybe be like college students, Gen
Z.
So it's like really just find a lane and like stick to it, and like don't be afraid to also like pivot, because like I took breaks, like I changed directions, I was flexible because that's just how life is, and like sometimes you could have a plan and that plan doesn't work, but you just have to be able to be flexible and just really grow with your business. Like if one thing doesn't work out, that doesn't mean that like your business failed. It just means that you need to like just think differently to make it work.
I love that, especially the aspect of like finding your audience. Like that was, I feel like, the perfect example. Like my friends don't do baby hairs, we don't do them colors. But if you do, then this is probably your target audience, this age group. I think that's really smart. I think we tend to like, okay, I have a business, I want to just service everybody, but it's like, not everybody wants you, and you're not for everybody. So I think honing in on that is a very, very smart idea. And then I want to know, I feel like me and Ellie, like you said, like we've all had horror stories with hairstylists, but do you have a horror story with a client that you're willing to share?
No names.
I'm not afraid to name drop. No, just kidding. Yes, I do. So this was actually so right now, like my services is primarily like traveling, but like my clients, some clients I'm able to like, take them in my home. And so this was when I was like fully doing hair like from like my home suite. And so I had a client that like they came, and from the jump when I saw them, like they just gave me a bad feeling. Like I was like, damn. And I was like, maybe I'm just being lazy. Like maybe that's why I'm like seeing it. Like maybe because I just had like a long day. But then like they came with like their, like, because they were doing like a sew-in. So they came with their bundles like wet. And so I'm just like,
I don't do with it.
Yeah, so and like it was wet, and like it just had, because the hair was wet, or like I'm not sure if they were like manipulated in some way, but it just had a funky smell to it. So I was like, okay, like, I can't put this in your hair just like because it smells and it's wet. And so I'm going to have to like wash it, but I'm gonna have to charge you. And then she didn't blow dry her hair, and like my request is for you to just blow dry your hair because I'm an at-home stylist, and so like I don't have like the wash and but I can't blow dry your hair. Like I have like a portable blow dryer, and I have like the hand blow dryer, so it wasn't an issue. I'm just letting you know it's going to add to your appointment. And then so she was like, okay, it's fine. And so like I'm doing the hair, and like we're pretty much like done. Like I was about to like just say like you can go, and so she was just like, I don't like the hair. And I was like, what don't you like? And so she was like, I just don't like it overall. And I was like, I mean, it's fine to not like it, but like, I want to help you, like, fix it. Yeah. And so she just couldn't point out like what she didn't like. And so I was like, okay, so like, what do you want to do? She was like, I just don't feel comfortable paying for this. So I was like,
service is done though.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, you wasted my time. But I was like, okay, no problem. So I started taking out the hair because you're not going to pay for it. And then so when I started to get to the braids, she was like, wait, you're taking out the braids? And I'm like,
that was part of the service that you're not paying for. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And she was like, no, like, why do you have to take out the braids? Like me and her, like, we were arguing about it, but I'm like, you just said you didn't like the hair. Now you want to keep the braids.
So then pay me for the wash of the wig, and then pay me for the braids.
Yeah. And so like, I ended up just taking out the braids, and like, I was just scared because like, she just seemed like, she didn't seem like a decent person. So like, I was just like, okay, like I have.
And this is my home. Yeah. She knows where I live.
Exactly. So I was just like really just nervous because I was like, she didn't really seem like a decent person because she like just didn't understand the concept of like, I can't let you walk out here with braids if you're not going to pay me. And so that was like a really bad experience because like it's fine, like if you're in my chair and you say you don't like it 100%, like I want you to like speak up and tell me about it. But like if you can't tell me what it is, it's kind of like just raises an eyebrow. But like whatever, I was willing to look past that. But it was just more so like you just wanted free braids, essentially.
Like
so and that was like 2.5 hours of my time wasted.
Man. That's annoying. And a lot of people would have like those hairstylists would have sued her like for like
you're gonna pay.
Pay. Oh my goodness.
And you mentioned time, and I know that you work your 9 to 5 and you also have your business. How do you have the time and the energy to do both?
God's grace. Amen. No, so I just have to be strategic with my time, to be honest. Like, I'm a planner. I'm very type A. So like the beginning of the week.
Type A girls.
Literally, type A keeps coming up.
Literally the motto of this whole, like the past 3 episodes, she called me, she says I'm type A.
She didn't know she was
and
type
I didn't know I was type A. I'm like more of a type B kind of girl, I think.
Are you more type B?
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently I'm type A. So then my wedding planner, who was on the previous episode, said that she's type A, and I was type A,
and now you're type A.
Oh no, I'm like extremely type A. Yeah. Or if I'm not, I'll go crazy. So
like I feel like my type A, I wouldn't say type A. I thought it was more OCD for me.
Yeah,
I like have
type A.
Okay. I didn't know type A.
Type A.
I'm more of like if something's here and someone removes it, I gotta put it back.
You can accept it.
I'm accepting it. I'm learning.
Yeah.
She's
Very uncomfortable. So do you find the time and you find the structure to fit your schedule, relationship? How are you able to go on dates and fit in your appointments?
Yeah. So date nights are usually like on the weekends and stuff like that. So that's easier. My work is also flexible too. Like, so since I work remotely, I feel like I could just plan, okay, like do more work. So I'm not like extremely tired on like client days.
Yeah.
And so, I just have a system where like I prep throughout the week. In the beginning of the week, like write down, okay, what's this week looking like? And I just go from there. Like, it sounds all like extremely chaotic when you think about it.
Tiring.
Yeah, no, it is. But I think I have it down packed.
It looks like you really do.
And
I love that.
That like your 9 to 5 is your full time and then the hair business is like part time? Or would you say it's even full time?
I would say that my like 9 to 5 is like my full time, and then the hair is like part time, and it's part time because like I know we're in the age where like you have to like, especially for like my business, where you have to like post consistently, and like that's just where I'm at right now in my life. I just can't afford to like sit down and like make the content. I know it's like, you know, for my business, it's not the best, but however, like I've been surviving through like word of mouth and getting my clients there.
That's how it all started before any of the social media. Reputation precedes
right now, the reputation for social media hairstylists is not
it's
going
not
well.
good.
Yeah.
It's not. It's literally like, am I going to trust a video of someone who I don't know, or if I'm going to trust Ellie who told me I went to her and I had a great experience? I'm going to go that way.
Yeah. So that's how I've been getting my like clients, and, you know, making sure my pockets are full too on that.
Period. We love that. Runneth over.
Yeah. And so, however, like I do want to get back to like posting again. So like that's what works for me with my business right now. But I feel like once I get back into like fully putting out content, then it'll be more so like full time.
Okay.
I love that for you. Oh, I can't wait for that transition. We'll definitely have you on another episode where you can talk about your transition to being full-time. And it's just exciting when you found something that you really love doing and you're passionate about. So
1000%.
Yeah, that's always great. So before we wrap up, is there one thing you would want our listeners to just take from your journey of just starting your business, even like all that you went through, you know, staying, like having perseverance through it, juggling 9 to 5. Sometimes a lot of people are like, oh, I have my 9 to 5. I can't start my business. Like, what is one thing that our listeners can just take from your journey?
I would say get out of your head. Like, you are your biggest enemy sometimes, because you can sit and say, oh, I can't do this or I can't do this, but you can. Like, you just have to do it scared, do it tired, just do it and like work your way like through it. Like, you're not going to have everything perfected.
That's coming from a type A.
Yeah, like it is. You're not going to have everything perfected, because I used to sit there and like make sure everything was so perfect before I pushed it out. But it's like,
that's me.
Push it out and like let your business grow with you. Like let your audience grow with you. Like I feel like it's better that way, because if you just keep it to yourself, oh, I'm not going to do this because it's not perfect yet. Like the only opinion you're getting is like your own, and you're just going to be continuously stuck rather than
how you expect to grow.
Like, and I feel like you grow by putting yourself out there. Yes, it's scary. Yes, of course, like have like the main things like in place. Don't just jump in, you know, free willingly, but just do it scared.
I literally posted that the other day. I was like, do it scared.
There you go.
It was just a post about moving. Do it scared.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the scare. Whenever I do anything scared, I know it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Because
Like I've never done anything that is not scary that doesn't turn out to be something great.
Yeah.
You know? So do it scared. Do it bold. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing about your business and your journey. So the next segment is you sharing with our listeners where we can find you, where we can follow you, and how we can book an appointment.
Okay, so you can follow me at The Hair Campaign on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok while it's here. What other social media platforms are there? I think that's it.
Typically.
And I have my booking link on the website. I mean, on the social media pages, so you can book there as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And our last segment is we like to ask our guests to share their favorite brand. It could be a personal brand that you like to use, like for self-care, or it could just be a brand that you use for your business.
Oh, like favorite hair brand, like good quality bundles.
So for good quality bundles, I usually get it from my vendor.
Okay.
But my favorite product, which I'll always rave about, it's makeup because I like just makeup. It is NYX or NYX. I don't know how to say it, but I like their blush. I like their bronzer, their lips.
I had my little dry right now, but NYX tiramisu right here.
Yeah.
They're really good and affordable. We love that.
Very affordable.
Yeah.
I love their lip gloss.
Yes.
Their lip gloss just does what it needs to do.
Oh, they have a good brow gel. I'm using that right now too.
Yeah.
Shout out to NYX.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I love NYX. Like, they're amazing.
Chef's kiss,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much on being a guest on our podcast.
Yes,
thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message her. Make sure you guys follow her. And if you haven't followed us on our platform, make sure you do that. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure to click that subscribe button. And we'll catch you guys on our next episode.
Bye.